going to learn the fifth chapter from Beehive, that is the snake and the mirror. Okay, the snake and the mirror. So we are going to read the story of what? The snake and the mirror, and it is a very interesting story. So the story is about a doctor. Okay, a doctor is there who has one experience with a poisonous snake. Okay, a cobra, a venomous cobra. But the story is much more than the encounter between the snake and the doctor. The story tells us very good things. Okay, so have you seen a mirror? Of course, we all have seen the mirror, but do you have the habit of looking into the mirror every time? Our school has a lot of mirrors, and the students have the habit, whenever they are passing through the corridors, they look into the mirror. Okay, so what do you see when you look into the mirror? Okay, yourself. Why do you see yourself in the mirror? You admire yourself. You think that I'm looking like this, my hairs are messy or not, my hairs are properly combed or not, am I looking presentable? So why you do this? You do it because you want to make, or you want to create an impression over the others by your outer look, okay, by your beauty, by your looks. Okay, so same way our doctor in the story has the habit of looking into the mirror. He looks himself in the mirror and he admires his look. He says that how handsome he is. Okay, so this thing, this story is about that outer look is not very important. We must not go after the things which look attractive, but we must build ourselves. Okay, rather than building our physique, our physical appearance, we must work on ourselves in totality. Okay, so this chapter tells us about the importance of having a good sound brain in a sound body. Looks are important. Okay, it can be important to few, but what is the most important thing is that how you are as a person. Okay, so this story deals with this theme, and we will see in the story. I will read the story, I will explain the chapter, and we will see together. We will see that what the story holds, and you are going to enjoy this story, and you will learn something out of this story. So without wasting much time, let's start our fifth chapter from Beehive, the snake and the mirror.
Okay, so now we will start reading the chapter The Snake and the Mirror. I have already introduced you with the story, I have already introduced you with its characters, and now we shall see that what the story holds, the snake and the mirror. Okay, I have given you the brief description about the events that will take place in the story, the character of the doctor, the snake, that how the story is, and the story doesn't involve only the entertaining part, but it gives us a moral lesson also. Okay, so we will see that how the things go and how the story unfolds. Okay, so let's start the reading of chapter the snake and the mirror. Okay, so before we read, do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? This question I have asked you in the introduction part also, that do you like admiring yourself in the mirror, and what do you think about at such times when you are looking into the mirror? Have you ever seen a dog or a cat or a bird look into the mirror? What do you think it sees? Okay, if the animal does that, then why does it look into the mirror? What does it sees? Okay, so for us, we see the mirror and we find ourselves attractive. We try to find what is lacking in our personality, but what does the animal do? This is a question in front of us. Now we shall read this humorous story about a doctor, a snake, and a mirror. Okay, so what was there with the doctor, we will see, and how the snake gets involved in the story. So we will see it. So let's start reading. Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? The narrator, the writer of the story, is asking us, has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? A full blooded cobra. All of us felt silent. Okay, so the narrator is telling us that the doctor asked the audience, the people who were there, our narrator, our writer of the story was there, and the doctor of our story asked everyone that, has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? A full blooded cobra. And all of the people who were listening to the doctor, they felt silent. The narrator is telling us. The question came from a homeopath, from the homeopath. You all are aware with homeopath, the doctor who, the doctor, okay, the main character of our story, the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. So the author and the friends, those who were around, they were discussing about snakes, and the topic came just then. The doctor asked them, have you ever witnessed such event? We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. So all of the people around the doctor, the author and everyone else, they listened very patiently. Okay, so let's see what happened next. Okay, it was a hot summer night. About 10 o'clock, I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. Okay, so the doctor is now narrating the incidents to his audience, and the writer of our story is telling us that what doctor has told them. It was a hot summer night. About 10 o'clock, I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. So the doctor is saying to them that when I returned from the restaurant where I had my dinner, I returned to my room and I heard a noise when I was opening the door of my room. The sound was a familiar one. Okay, it was not a strange sound, but it was a familiar sound which he had heard a few times also, okay, in the past. Okay, one could say that the rats and I shared the room. Okay, so the sound, according to the doctor, was coming from the rats, and one can say that he and the rats used to live together in the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. So the doctor, what he did, he took out the matchbox and he lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. So let's see in the second para. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. Meager means small in quantity. So the house was not electrified. There was no electricity in the house. It was a small rented room, and the doctor says that he had just set up medical practice. So he had just began his career as a doctor, and his earnings were very small. The doctor says, I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis. So his clothes, the shirts and the dhotis were there, and he had only 60 rupees in his suitcase, in his briefcase. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. Okay, at the time of the incident when this happened, the doctor was wearing one black coat which he had with him, and he had some shirts and dhotis in his suitcase along with the 60 rupees. So I took off my black coat, white shirt, and not so white vest. So the doctor says that I took off my coat, my black coat, my white shirt, and not so white vest means an old pair of vest, an old vest, okay, and hung them up. So he hung them up. He hung what? The white shirt, the not so white vest, the vest which was old, and the black coat. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. Okay, so what he did next? He opened the two windows in the room. There were two windows in the room. He opened them, and the room was an outer one, the room which was outer in the outer part of the house, and one wall facing the open yard. So what the doctor did when he came back from the restaurant, he opened the door. He heard some noise, and the noise was familiar. He thought that maybe rats are making that noise, and his house was not electrified, as he had very small earning. He was just starting his medical practice, and then he put his clothes. He hung his clothes, the solitary black coat and everything, and he only had 60 rupees in his suitcase along with some shirts and dhoti. He took off his black coat, white shirt, and not so white vest. He took them off, and then he opened the two windows that were there in the room. The room was in the outer part of the house, and it had a tiled roof with long supporting gables. Okay, tiled roof, it was there. The roof was tiled, as you can see in the picture. The tiles are there, and the gable, what is a gable? That is supporting the roof. Okay, the gables are the part of the roof that is supporting the roof, and that rested on the beam over the wall. Okay, upper part of a wall is known as gables. There was no ceiling. Okay, there was no ceiling, and as it was a shape of the hut, the tiles were there, so no ceiling was there. It was not a flat surface. There was no place to roam as we have in our roofs. Okay, there was a regular traffic of rats. Okay, what does this means? There was a regular traffic of rats, so that means the rats were roaming here and there like they used to do every day. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. So the doctor tells the listeners that he couldn't sleep, and the rats were roaming here and there, and he lay down in his bed. He made his bed, but he couldn't sleep. Okay, I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air. So he went out of his house to the veranda, and he thought that maybe I should get some air, fresh air, so that I can sleep very peacefully. But the wind god seemed to have taken time off. This line means that there was no wind blowing, and he felt that it is worthless to be out in the veranda. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. So, what he did next, when he found that there is no meaning in staying outside, so he went back to his room and he sat down on the chair. So there was no wind blowing outside also, so he thought that what is there is no sense in roaming outside. So he went inside his room. He came inside his room and he sat down on the chair. He opened the box beneath the table, the box that was there beneath the table, the drawer, and he took out a book to read. That maybe if I will read a book, I can sleep properly. Okay, whenever you read, you feel sleepy. This is a very common thing, and the book that he was reading was Materia Medica, maybe one of his medical book. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. So then he opened it on the table on which there was the lamp from which he was getting the light, as the house was not electrified, and there was a large mirror. Okay, one mirror was there, and a small comb lay beside the mirror. Okay, so what were the things in the table? On the table, the lamp, and he put the book there, and there was a mirror and a small comb. Okay, one feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. Okay, so what happens, the doctor is saying that whenever someone looks into the mirror, he feels tempted to look into it. Okay, whenever a mirror is around you, you feel tempted to look at your reflection. So I took a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty. So the doctor is telling his audience that during those days he was a great admirer of beauty, and he looked into the mirror, and I believed in making myself look handsome. So the doctor is saying that at that time I used to think that I should look handsome. Why? Because he says I was unmarried and I was a doctor. So he's saying that he was not married, he was a bachelor, and he was a doctor. So this thing is very remarkable, and make a point that every time the doctor will repeat this thing, that I was unmarried and I was a doctor. So that is why I thought that I should look more attractive. I felt I had to make my presence felt. So he says that I believe that I should make my presence felt as I was unmarried and as I was a doctor, so I should look more presentable. Okay, so I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. When you comb your hair, you make your hairs properly, you comb your hairs properly. So same he did, and he wanted to make himself more presentable. Okay, so he combed his hair. Again I heard that sound from above. So the sound that came when he opened his door back when he entered, so the sound was back now, and the sound came from above. Okay, I took a close look. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. So a very important line, that the doctor says that I looked at my face in the mirror and I made an important decision. I made an important point that I should save daily. Okay, so what point he made, what decision rather he made, that he should shave daily. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache. Okay, for what? To look more handsome. So very important decision according to the doctor was to shave every day and to put a thin mustache to look more handsome. So he thought if he will shave his beard and regularly, and he will have the thin mustache, then he will look more attractive. I looked into the mirror, and one more thing he repeated again, I was after all a bachelor and a doctor. So again he made the point that I am a bachelor, I am unmarried, and I am a doctor, so I must look more handsome. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. When you smile very attractively, you think that you are making very nice smile. He thought that he made a very attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. See, very humorous line. Earth-shaking decision. The decision that shaped his life, shaken all around him. The earth shook when he made that decision. Okay, and what was the decision? That I would always keep that attractive smile on my face. So first important decision, that I will shave regularly and I will put a mustache to look handsome, as I am a doctor and I am unmarried. And another decision that he made, the earth shaking decision, that I would always keep that attractive smile which I have. Okay, so this is the thing about doctor, that he was very much into the looks. Okay, he thought that if he will be handsome, then something very drastic, something where some drastic change would happen. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor, too, on top of it. So again, he made the point that why I should look more handsome, because I am a doctor and I am a bachelor. Again came that noise from above. So again, the noise was back, which was first there when he entered the room, and then when he was starting to look into the mirror, again that noise came. I got up, paced up and down the room. So he got up from his chair when he was looking into the mirror, and he paced up and down the room. So he roamed around the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. So one more thought came to his mind: I would marry. Okay, he made his mind that he will marry. I would get married to a woman doctor. Okay, so what quality that that his future wife should have? That she should be a doctor who had plenty of money. Okay, another point he made, that she must be a doctor and she should have plenty of money, and she should have a good medical practice. So she should be a doctor, a successful doctor, and a rich doctor, a rich woman. She had to be fat. One more point he made, very interesting point, that the lady of his life, to be the woman he would marry, should be a doctor, a rich doctor, and all over that she should be fat for a valid reason. So one reason he gave, that she should be fat because if I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. So it was a very strange thing that he was saying, that see, he was a doctor, he was a learned man, he was an educated fellow, but see the things he is saying, very humorous elements are used by the writer of the story, that he is saying his better half should be a doctor, a well practiced doctor, a rich doctor, and she should be fat, so that whenever the doctor makes some mistake, his wife would not be able to catch him. Okay, like you must have heard a lot of jokes of between husband and wife. So the doctor is saying, whenever I will commit some mistake, my wife should not be able to catch me. With such thoughts in my mind, the doctor again tells his audience that with such thoughts in my head, I resumed my seat. So he has stood up from the seat when he heard the noise, but now again one thought came that I should marry a rich doctor and she should be fat. He again sat down in the chair and in front of the table, okay, where the mirror was there. There were no more sounds from above. Okay, so now there was no sound from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud. Okay, dull thud means very weak sound. A sound came as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Okay, so it felt like some rubber piece has fallen down. A rubber pipe has fallen down. And what our doctor did next? Fallen to the ground. So he thought that maybe a rubber pipe has fallen down. The sound was like that. Surely nothing to worry about, he thought. He thought that okay, it is not to worry about because only a pipe has fallen down. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. Even so, he thought that I should turn around and take a look that what has fallen back. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. Okay, so as soon as he turned back, one snake crawled from the back of the chair, wriggled from the back of the chair, and landed on his shoulder. Okay, so see, he looked back. Just then, a snake came and came over his shoulder from the chair. The snake's landing on me and my turning were simultaneous. Simultaneous means exactly at the same time. Okay, the timing of his turning back and the snake coming to his shoulder were simultaneous. Okay, so here our part 1 of the chapter concludes. We will meet again in the part 2. I have explained you first half of the story. In the second half, we will see that what happens next, whether the snake kills our doctor, whether the doctor kills the snake. Whatever happens in our story will be very interesting. Okay, I'm telling you, the story is very interesting. You can read on your own. I will explain you. In the first half, we have seen a very a nice fellow is there, doctor is there, studious guy is there, who has a desire to marry a fat lady doctor, a rich lady doctor, and he will marry her, and he thinks that he should look more attractive. For that, he thinks that I should grow up my mustache and I should shave my beard. So suddenly one noise came, and he turns back and he sees that a cobra is lying on his shoulder. So what will happen next will be very interesting. We will see that what happens in a story in the next part of the video. So here our part 1 of the chapter concludes. We will meet again with the concluding part of the story. So stay connected, watch the next video also, and send me your queries regarding the first half of your chapter.
So here our part 1 of the chapter concludes. I have divided the story in two parts and I have explained the first half of the story. As of now, we have seen that the doctor was very much into his looks. He was very careful about his looks. He was very, what do we say? He was very worried about his looks. He wanted to look attractive, handsome, in order to get a good looking, good, well settled girl. Okay, but what was the condition? That the girl must be a doctor, she should be financially rich, and she should be fat, so that whenever she creates any problem for the doctor, he can run away from the place and the fat lady can't get him. Okay, so this was the story, and I hope you have enjoyed the first half of the chapter. The next half we will see that what happens with the cobra that has fallen on his shoulder. We will see that what happens next. Does the cobra get the better of our doctor, or the doctor is able to conquer the cobra? So this we will see in the second part of the chapter, the snake and the mirror. And till then, complete the work that I am giving you, and we will meet soon, and we will meet through Google Meet also, and your test is also there from in the Kingdom of Fools. So I hope you all are ready with that, and I hope to see maximum result, maximum attendance in the Google Meet as well as the test. So you are watching video classes. I am Aman. Thank you so much for watching the lecture.